Hello and welcome to Mediumship Matters with me, Hannah McIntyre. Another mediumship mini today, and this is a question from Lee. And Lee says, I was watching a Facebook live reading with Brandy Wells and Bronya West the other week. They asked for watchers to post questions and they picked some to read for. Anyway, I posted a question which, although wasn't picked, the answer they gave to a completely unrelated reading answered it. From that, another question formulated in my mind, and the same thing happened on the next reading they did. This then happened again after this. Do you think the questions they picked answered mine because they were meant to happen? I stumbled on the reading by chance, or do you think I'm overthinking this? The answers were deeply connecting for me, and I feel like my guides have been giving me signs for this for a while, but I'm not sure how to go about the work they want me to do in regard to healing. Can guides be really specific with signs, or do we have to learn to read them? I'm rubbish at interpreting signs and signals. Thanks so much, Lee. Well, isn't this interesting? I think this is very much shows the collaborative energy and the connection between us all, which I love. So often when I'm teaching, I will say to the students, please, please, please ask your questions, because your question might answer a question that somebody else hasn't even fully formulated yet. And your question might open that person up to a new piece of inspiration or information that they need to share. We are always collaborating. So I do believe that the answers to those questions were absolutely relevant to you and probably relevant to many people who were watching it in many different ways. And that is not to undermine the impact of the answers upon you, Lee. It's just to show the amazing cleverness of the spirit world. They are so bloody clever. It amazes me every time. So that's really fantastic. But that also leads me to kind of the problem with Facebook Lives and short readings like that. In that, I know they weren't answering you directly anyway, but it's very hard to get the information that you need. And I believe that working with spirit is a mix between practical information that people can share with you and information guided from spirit. So if you book a reading with me, for example, it will be because you want to hear from my spirit guides, my connection, yes. But it will also be because you want to hear from me. You want to hear through my filter, through my understanding, through my interpretations, through my experience. And so if you'd been having a one-on-one, Lee, that probably would have given you the opportunity to go deeper with how they want you to heal, what they want you to do. And I wouldn't try to interpret signs to get the answers, because I think we tie ourselves in knots with signs. I keep seeing all these posts like 111572 means this, 492 means this, and we could just tie ourselves up with meaning and intellect and rules. But for me, the most important thing with spirit is what they are saying to you. And the way that your guides will communicate to you, Lee, what they want you to do with your healing is through you sitting quietly and allowing that information to come, in allowing yourself to be inspired on a day-to-day basis. Healing is incredibly powerful, but also very simple. And I think sometimes we get in the way. I mean, Spirit recently have been making me do healing by watching The Good Wife and having a cappuccino. And that is just a time to sit down, forget about everything that's whirring around in my mind, watch that story. And I'm in love with the story of The Good Wife. And just check out. I might have said Good Witch. I've watched that too. There's too many good things on around. Amanda and I were talking about this yesterday. She's watching The Good Doctor. It's just too much. Anyway, so don't get tied up in, does that feel like spiritual healing? Does that feel like a message from spirit? If you just follow your instincts, Lee, where do they lead you? Is it just early nights for a while? Is it sitting quietly? Is it clearing that to-do list and making those phone calls you need to make? What is it you feel drawn to do? And if you keep questioning into that, you will find that the answers on clearing and how to clear expand and grow, and your connection as a result will expand and grow. I hope that makes sense, and thank you for your question.